teacher. You're excited for your child. You're trying to find the classroom. Meet the teacher. Find the little desk with your child's name on it. And then you see him and your stomach drops. Maybe he's standing across the hallway staring at you. Maybe he brought someone with him because he knew it would upset you. Maybe he walks right up to the teacher and suddenly becomes Dad of the Year. And now you're thinking, is he going to make a scene? What has he already told the teacher? Do they think I'm the crazy one? Am I supposed to leave? And meanwhile, you're trying to smile because your child is standing right beside you. And if you've survived abuse, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Your child sees a school hallway. Your nervous system sees danger. And that is where we're starting today. Because in part 1 of this series, we talked about how an abusive or high conflict ex can create chaos getting your child into school. But once school actually begins, that game can change. Now there are teachers, administrators, school counselors, coaches, and other parents, and a whole new audience for the conflict. And sometimes that's exactly what an abusive person wants. I'm Tiffany Lesnik. I am a family law attorney, domestic violence survivor, and founder of Live Free Legal, where I help women navigate family court with wisdom, strategy, and confidence. And today, I am not just talking to you as an attorney, I'm talking to you as a survivor. Because when you've lived with coercive control, you learn that abuse doesn't necessarily stop because the relationship ended. It just finds new places to show up. Sometimes it's your phone, sometimes it's the custody exchange, sometimes the courtroom, and sometimes it's your child's school. Today we're talking about 5 more back-to-back school ambushes, and I want you to stay with me until number 5, because I think it may be the one that hurts our children the most. And let's make this interactive today. As we go through these, keep count. How many have happened to you? Don't put details about your pending custody case in the comments. Protect yourself. But if you're comfortable at the end, just give me a number from 1 to 5. I have a feeling a lot of women are going to realize they're not alone. Ambush number 1. Sabotaging meet the teacher, open house, or opening school events. Does this sound familiar? I bet it does to a lot of you. This one is maddening because it looks so small from the outside. Meet the teacher is at 4 o'clock. He has the children. You've sent him the information. 4 o'clock comes around, no children. 4:15, nothing. You text, no response. 4:45, sorry, we got busy. Or maybe they don't need to go, or you don't tell me what to do on my custody time. Maybe that sounds familiar. And there you are standing in your child's classroom without your child, and they don't get the opportunity to meet their teacher before school begins. Does this sound familiar to anyone? I bet it does. Let me know in the comments if this sounds familiar. If it does, just mentally check number 1. Here's the part I want you to understand. For a child, meet the teacher isn't really about mom or dad. It's about reducing anxiety for your child. You know, where's my classroom? Where do I put my backpack? Who's my teacher? Where will I sit? Where's the bathroom? Who's going to be there tomorrow? For an anxious child, knowing those answers can make the first day of school dramatically easier for them. If the other parent intentionally interferes with these events, don't let yourself get dragged into an argument about him. Keep bringing it back to your child. And this is where I want you to change the way you document things. Don't write to him, or don't write, my narcissistic ex intentionally ruined meet the teacher because he only cares about himself. I know you may feel that, and I know that might be true, right? But instead, write, meet the teacher was scheduled for August 18th from 4 to 6 p.m. Father received the school notice on August 5th. The children were not returned until 6:40 p.m. and were unable to attend. To see the difference, one is an accusation, the other is evidence. This could be in a journal, this could be in an email, this could be in an OFW somewhere that you put down. And if you're navigating family court with an abusive ex, I want you to learn this phrase. Facts tell the story. You don't always have to tell the judge what conclusion to reach. Give the court good facts. Let the facts do some of the work for you. All right, so what is ambush number 2? Turning school events into a stage for intimidation. Number 2 is especially important for domestic violence survivors. Sometimes he doesn't keep the children from the event. He comes too. And attendance itself may be completely permissible. He may be allowed to be there, but then he starts positioning himself around you. He stands beside you. He sits behind you. He waits near your car. He follows you from the classroom to the cafeteria. Maybe he's glaring at you. Maybe he's whispering something only you can hear. Or, and this can be even more unnerving, he's suddenly incredibly charming. He's laughing with the teacher, shaking hands with the principal, talking to the other parents, and you're standing there thinking, if these people only knew. Let me pause right there, because I know how tempting it can be to want to make them know. You want to pull that teacher aside and say, let me tell you who this man really is. Unless there is information the school genuinely needs for the safety of you or your child, resist the urge to recruit the school into proving your case. This is huge. The school is not family court. Your child's teacher is not your custody evaluator. An open house is not your trial. If you have a domestic violence protective order, no contact order, restraining order, custody provisions or pickup restrictions or other court order that the school needs to follow, absolutely make sure the appropriate administrator has it. But you don't necessarily need to give your child's third grade teacher your entire litigation history, especially not at Meet the Teacher night. Ask yourself, what does this school need to know to keep my child safe and follow the court order? Give them that. If both parents are legally allowed to attend the event, think ahead about how you can reduce contact. Can you bring a safe support person with you? Can you park somewhere else? Can you sit on the other side of the room? Can you ask whether separate parent-teacher conferences are available? And can you arrive at a different point during an open house window? You don't need to prove that you're not afraid of him by standing right beside him. And you don't need to respond because he wants a reaction. If you remember nothing else from this section, remember this. The school parking lot is a terrible place to win an argument and a very easy place to lose credibility. So protect your peace, protect your child, and protect your credibility. So ambush number 3, recruiting the teacher into the custody battle. Now we're getting into one of my favorites. You've barely made it through the first week of school and somehow your ex already has the teacher's email address. And he's busy. I'm very concerned about mom. She doesn't communicate. She doesn't co-parent. She doesn't make sure the homework gets done. She refuses to give me any information. Please let me know anytime my child is late. Please copy me on everything. Please document any behavior concerns. Does that sound familiar? Has anyone been through that? If you have, you're up to number 2. And you're thinking to yourself, are you kidding me? It's Thursday. It's the first week of school. Anybody relate to that? If this one has happened to you, you're at number 3. This is something I see in high conflict co-parenting all the time. Sometimes an abusive parent isn't simply communicating with the teacher, they are trying to create an ally. There's actually a very important distinction there. Parents generally should be involved in their children's education subject to their custody orders and applicable law. So simply communicating with the teacher isn't the problem. The problem is when school communication becomes another vehicle for post-separation abuse, triangulation, or building a narrative against the other parent. Here's where abused moms sometimes accidentally hurt themselves. You discover what he's doing and you launch the counter-offensive. If he's written 3 emails, you write 6. If he tells the teacher you don't communicate, you send the teacher screenshots proving he doesn't communicate. And before you know it, your child's teacher has 2 parents fighting through her inbox. Don't do that. You want to become the low conflict parent in a high conflict situation. You want to become the parent that teacher wants to communicate with, that is relieved when you walk into his or her classroom, right? That enjoys seeing you, doesn't tense up when you walk in the room, right? I'm not encouraging you to be passive. I'm encouraging you to be strategic. You know, the old saying, you get more flies with honey than vinegar, is absolutely true. If the teacher sends information, respond appropriately and promptly. If the teacher needs something, provide it. If something false actually needs to be corrected because it affects your child's education or safety, correct it briefly and factually. But you don't have to rebut every accusation he makes. In fact, people are going to figure it out, right? If he is constantly blowing up the teacher's email, constantly saying negative things about you, constantly making allegations and accusations, and you're being polite and kind and responsive, they're going to see through that. Maybe not at first, but they will. They will figure it out. Teachers and staff and school board members and principals, they deal with this kind of stuff all the time. They're used to it. They know what they're looking for. So sometimes the smartest response is, thank you for letting me know. My focus is making sure Emma has a successful school year. Please feel free to contact me anytime regarding any educational concerns. That's it. No dissertation, no screenshots, no closing argument. Let your behavior create the contrast. And next week, we're going much deeper into the question, can my ex talk to my child's teacher? Because there are issues involving educational records, legal custody, decision-making authority, and parent access that deserve their own discussion. Do me a favor, subscribe if you haven't already. Give us a thumbs up. So ambush number 4, using the school to create evidence against you. This one is different because now we're not just talking about an annoying email. We're talking about narrative building. Your ex starts emailing. Johnny said he didn't eat breakfast at mom's house. Sarah was tired today after being with her mother. The children tell me they never do homework over there. I noticed she had a bruise. I'm concerned about mom's mental health. Please document this. And there it is. Please document this. Ladies, pay attention to that phrase, because sometimes the goal isn't solving a school problem. The goal is creating a record that can later be carried into a child custody case. If you're already dealing with false accusations in family court, this can be terrifying for you. I get it. Because suddenly you're wondering, does the teacher believe him? Is the school counselor writing this down? Is CPS going to get called? Is this going to end up in front of the judge? Take a breath. An accusation does not become true because somebody put it in an email. This is where your own consistency matters. Get your child to school, respond appropriately to legitimate school concerns, attend conferences, follow through with educational needs. Keep important communication, and when something needs correcting, use facts, not accusations. Do not turn every allegation into an emergency. This is particularly important when you're co-parenting with someone you believe is narcissistic, controlling, or abusive. The goal may be to make you react. That's what he's going to want to do. Because if he sends a ridiculous email and you respond with 4 angry pages, guess which email may be more interesting when somebody eventually reads the record. Don't hand him the reaction he was hoping for. I teach women all the time. Document, don't perform. Write that one down. Document, don't perform. And here's our audience question. Which one is harder for you? A, not responding immediately, or B, keeping your responses short when you know he's lying? Put A or B in the comments if you feel comfortable. I think B is going to win. Ambush number 5, our final one. Using your child as the messenger, reporter, or spy. This one bothers me the most because now the child becomes part of the evidence gathering machine. Tell your mom you're staying with me Friday. Ask your teacher why mom didn't sign the form. Tell your counselor what happens at mom's house. What did mom say about me? Who was at mom's house? What time did she get home? Did she have anything to drink? Take a picture and send it to me. Take a video. Take a video on your iPad when you get home. Or the child comes home and says, Dad said I need to tell my teacher that you don't help me with homework. Stop. Your child is not your process server. Your child is not your private investigator. Your child is not your witness preparation assistant. And your child should not be carrying adult custody conflict around in a Paw Patrol backpack. When children are placed in the middle, they begin to feel responsible for information that belongs to adults. They start monitoring what they say. They worry that telling mom something will hurt dad. They worry that telling dad something will hurt mom. They begin learning that information has consequences, and that's an enormous emotional burden for a child. So what do? First, don't interrogate the child back. I know it's tempting. Your child says, Daddy told me to tell the teacher that. And your immediate response is, what else did Daddy say? Who was there? What exactly did he tell you? What did you tell the teacher? Be careful. You don't want to respond to inappropriate questioning by conducting your own inappropriate questioning. Instead, bring the child back to safety. Something as simple as, that's grown-up stuff. You don't have to carry messages between mom and dad. We'll handle it. Think about how freeing that is for a child. You don't have to carry this. And if there is a significant pattern, document what happens in an appropriate way and talk with your attorney or the appropriate professional about how to address it. But don't make your child responsible for proving your case. Their job is to be a kid. So the big picture, so let's count them. Number 1, sabotaging meet the teacher, open house, or school events. Number 2, using school functions to intimidate or provoke you. Number 3, recruiting teachers into the custody conflict. Number 4, using school communication to manufacture a narrative or create evidence. And number 5, using your child as the messenger, reporter, or spy. How many? 1, 3, all 5? Again, if you're comfortable, just put the number in the comments below. No details about your case. I want women reading those comments to see something. You are not the only one. Because one of the cruelest parts of coercive control and post-separation abuse is how isolated it can make you feel. You start thinking, maybe I'm imagining this. Maybe I'm really too sensitive. Maybe nobody else deals with this. Yes, they do. 1 in 3 women have been subjected to domestic abuse in some way. And that statistic is probably deflated. I have sat across from so many women who describe these exact patterns. Different family, different school, different state, same exhaustion. And here's what I want you to understand as both an attorney and a survivor. You cannot control whether he sends the email. You cannot control whether he comes to open house. You cannot control whether he tries to provoke you, and he probably will. You cannot control the story he tells other people, but you can control what happens next and how you respond. You can refuse to turn your child's school into another courtroom. You can communicate professionally, and you can document facts. You can protect your credibility, and you can keep your child out of the middle, which is the most important part. You can stop treating every accusation like something you have to immediately disprove. That is power. And before you go, I need one favor from you. We're working toward our first 1,000 subscribers. If you are one of the women quietly watching these videos at night after the kids go to bed, trying to figure out how you're going to survive another custody battle with your abuser, I see you. I've been there. I'm a survivor too. I know how lonely this can feel. There is no loneliness like the loneliness of being in isolation in an abusive relationship. And that is why I built Live Free Legal. So hit subscribe, not just for me. Subscribe so YouTube understands that women need this information and starts putting these videos in front of other moms who may be sitting alone tonight searching. I'm Tiffany Lesnik with Live Free Legal. Remember, you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. Facts tell the story. Document, don't perform, and your child should never have to carry the custody battle into the classroom. I'll see you next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here at Live Free Legal on YouTube.